Who will have the prize tonight? Elena's breath caught in her throat as the students around her began to change. Their eyes darkened, their teeth elongated into sharp, gleaming fangs. Their skin grew deathly pale, and the room felt like a cage closing in on her. Celeste suddenly grabbed Elena's wrist, her grip unnaturally strong. Elena gasped. Celeste, what is going on? Don't be scared, Celeste whispered with a laugh, her fangs gleaming. Fun is just about to begin. Damon's grin stretched across his face, his fangs fully extended. The feast begins. Elena's heartbeat thundered in her ears, crowding out everything else as the terrifying reality of the situation hit her. But just then, the front doors of the frat house slammed open with a deafening crash. A gust of wind howled through the room, and the air turned cold. A hooded figure strode into the room, his presence commanding, his footsteps echoing like thunder in the silence. He pulled back his hood, revealing his piercing green eyes, glowing with a fierce intensity. I told you to be careful, Elena. Now stay behind me. Adrien? You shouldn't have come, Hunter. It's about time. Blood moon is our time. You can't stop this. What did I get myself into? Outside, the blood moon inched higher into the sky. Its crimson glow bleeding through the windows. A tremor ran through the vampires, their hunger sharpened, their fangs lengthening in anticipation. The rising blood moon was awakening something deep inside them. You feel that? That's power, pure, unchallenged power, and nothing will stand in our way. You are what I've been waiting for. Before Elena could react, Damon lunged, his body a blur, closing the distance in an instant. Elena immediately tried to flee, but Celeste appeared behind her, blocking her escape. Nowhere to run, darling. Elena's heart pounded. She was surrounded. She looked at Adrien helplessly. Adrien, help! You know, I was really hoping for a quiet night. Maybe some reading, a cup of coffee. Not a blood ritual, but here we are. With a sudden flick of his wrist, he took out a silver dagger from his cloak Celeste lunged at Adrien. But he was faster. The silver knife slashed across her cheek. Smoke curled from the wound as her scream tore through the room, half rage, half agony. "You'll pay for that, Hunter," she hissed, her eyes blazing with fury. Adrien smirked. Get in line. Adrien barely glanced at her. Instead, he grabbed Elena's wrist. "Run," he ordered, shoving her toward the door. "Now." Then, he turned back to face the vampires. He slashed at them. They recoiled, hissing, as the silver blade burned through them. Elena watched in awe. Adrien, always lurking in the library, always whispering about legends. He had been right all along. Centuries ago, before Blackwood Dormitory was ever built, this land was steeped in blood. It was a battleground where three ancient forces clashed. Vampires. Vampires. Werewolves. And the hunters who swore to keep balance. For years, the war raged, a relentless cycle of vengeance and death. The vampires were cunning. They struck a deal with the werewolves, promising peace. But on the night of the blood moon, they betrayed them instead, slaughtering entire packs and wiping out the wolves who had once ruled these woods. That fateful night, under the crimson light of the blood moon, the leader of the Cold Ones, Valerius, met with the head of the hunters, Lucius Blackwood, in the abandoned woods that would later become the foundation of Blackwood Dormitory. "Lucius, your people are weak. You're stuck in the past, chasing after legends, while we make history. Without these beasts, you and I could rule these lands, together. It's you who are blind, Valerius. You cannot break the pact. The werewolves trust you. They trust us." The wolves were never meant to rule these lands. They were pawns. We were always meant to be the true rulers of the night. And if you can't see that, it's just too bad. The blood moon will be my reign, Lucius. I will never let that happen. If you attempt it, the blood moon won't be your reign. It will be your reckoning. But Valerius didn't listen. The vampires killed off the last of the wolves and many of the hunters. Lucius and his bloodline were all but destroyed, their numbers dwindling to mere whispers in the dark. As Valerius struck the final blow to Lucius, the head of the hunters managed to rasp out one last curse. "You'll regret this, Valerius. This land is cursed now, marked by blood and betrayal. It won't be long before the Blackwood bloodline ends your reign. Ends your reign. We shall see, Hunter." The land fell into silence after the slaughter. But one Blackwood hunter remained. He found himself standing alone in the woods where wolves had once roamed free. The lone hunter knelt beside the broken, dying form of a wolf, a creature he had sworn to protect. But something was wrong. The wolf's eyes burned with an unnatural fire, and with its final breath, it whispered a curse. You will become what we were and protect us. The curse took hold, and as it did, the hunter's body twisted and reshaped. His bones cracked and reformed as he was bound by the curse to protect what he had failed. He became a werewolf, but he was more than that. He became a protector, a guardian of the wolves who had been betrayed. Over the centuries, the essence of the Blackwood hunter passed down from generation to generation. This inheritance was no simple bloodline, it was a ritual of blood and spirit. Each time a new Blackwood hunter arose, they carried with them the memories, the skills, and the spirits of their predecessors. The essence of the hunter would find its true heir when the time was right. Adrien. Adrien had always felt different, as if a shadow were following him. An ancient force waiting to awaken. As a child, he'd heard stories about the Blackwood hunter, but he'd thought them to be mere myths. That was until one day, the mark appeared on his wrist. An ancient symbol of the bloodline. He knew that the hunter's legacy had chosen him. It wasn't until he arrived at Blackwood University that Adrien began to understand his true role. The land itself called to him, whispering the secrets of the Cold Ones. He was the Blackwood hunter, the last of his kind. Adrien continued to search. He kept an eye on the gang. And it was finally through Elena he found their meeting place. And the night of the blood moon, this wasn't just a party, it was a ritual. Elena didn't wait to see what would happen next. She turned and ran towards the van, but before she could reach, a blur of motion cut her off. His smirk was effortless, his fangs gleaming, tilted his head, amused by her desperation. I've wanted you for too long to let you go now, Elena. Since the moment Elena arrived at Blackwood Dormitory, she had felt eyes on her, watching, waiting. Damon had been there, always near. And the others, the way they whispered, the way they looked at her, they had all wanted her fresh blood. But only Damon could have her, being the head of the Cold Ones. That was why he put Celeste to task, to lure her here. Elena wasn't just a guest at this party. She was the offering. Adrien ducked as a vampire lunged at him, his silver blade slicing clean through its arm. The creature screeched, staggering as smoke curled from the wound. Another came from behind. Adrien spun, driving his dagger into its chest. But there were too many. You think one hunter can stop us? Adrien wiped blood from his lip and grinned. Said I came alone. A chorus of savage howls echoed through the night. Then, like a storm crashing through the trees, they came. Wolves, sleek and powerful, eyes burning gold as they charged from the woods. The wolves lunged at the vampires, jaws snapping, claws tearing through flesh. A pulse of dark energy rippled through the room. The vampires reached their full form. Their eyes darkened into a soulless reddish black, their fangs growing longer and sharper. You were looking for our sacred meeting place, Hunter. You found it. A wolf lunged at him, but Damon caught it mid-air with a single hand. The beast whimpered as Damon tightened his grip around its skull. Then, with a sickening crack, the lifeless body dropped to the floor. Damon stepped forward, his gaze fixed on Adrien, Elena behind him. It was over. But then, Adrien pulled a dark, jagged wooden stake. You have strength, but I have this. The stake, the Blackwood Fang, was no ordinary weapon. Crafted centuries ago by the first Blackwood hunter, it was carved from the heart of an ancient oak struck by lightning. The wood absorbed the energy of the storm, binding it with a sacred silver core. It was made for one purpose: to end the reign of the Cold Ones. Adrien hurled the stake. He struck Damon square on the chest. The vampire let out a strangled roar. His body convulsing before it collapsed into dust. Elena, burn the house. Elena ran, dodging the chaos, grabbing a torch from the wall. Flames roared to life as she threw it onto the curtains. The fire spread rapidly, licking the walls, forcing the vampires to retreat into the night. Celeste snarled, turning to strike. but Elena pulled out her own weapon. A sterling silver pendant, its silver glowing under the blood moon's light. Elena didn't answer. She pressed the pendant to Celeste's skin. The vampire shrieked as her body ignited, burning into ash. After Adrien had first told her about the legend, Elena had done her own research. She suspected Celeste and her friends from the beginning. The sterling silver pendant, an artifact of old, was said to be forged from a lunar stone and imbued with holy water. It was capable of turning a vampire's own dark energy against them. And Elena had kept it with her, just in case. Elena stood, her gaze fixed on the burning house. You could walk away now, or learn how to fight. Elena's heart raced. The blood moon faded, but she knew the darkness wasn't over. The vampires were still out there. Teach me. This is just the beginning.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.